Segments, I call the member for Ballina.
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker. I rise today to put on the record in this Parliament my utmost support for those who have fought and continue to fight against the industrialisation of the Northern Rivers and threats to food and water security from unconventional gas mining. I stand with my community in calling on the government to listen to our deafening roar that we want a coal seam gas-free Northern Rivers, and that neither we nor the Parliament nor the citizens of New South Wales should be held to ransom by mining interests and corporations. There is no social licence for this industry in my electorate, and there is a resolve by me, the Greens and tens of thousands of people in my community to stand up again and be counted should this government lead us back down the path to Bentley. How disturbing it is that the possibility of a return to the frontline battle to protect the Northern Rivers from this invasion of our pristine land and water has reared its ugly head again. In May last year, my community faced the looming threat that over 800 New South Wales police officers, good men and women, were expected to arrive upon this government's orders to dismantle their peacefully built blockade. This blockade, built of thousands of locals, united in their efforts to protect the Northern Rivers from a drill rig due to arrive any day. Protectors made up of everyday people, not fringe dwellers or hippies, but nurses, doctors, teachers, blue-collar and white-collar workers, pensioners and lawyers, all walks of life. Despite the total absence of a social licence and because of an error in process by the Minister and this government, gas company Metgasco announced to their shareholders a week ago that they will persist with their plans to drill for unconventional gas in my region. Right in the heart of a community vehemently opposed to this, defiant in their will to impose this threat to our food and water. Here we are now with this government about to be dragged back to the courts again by a gas company throwing a tantrum to extort as much compensation as they can from the taxpayers of New South Wales. It is clear the government's gas plan for this state is failing. The licence buyback scheme has been a bungle, and as it stands, the people of New South Wales could be forced to pay their way out of this mess. The member for Clarence, of who has the Bentley Rosella well within his electoral borders, has said, and I quote, "You can't factor into your business plan having to call on police to act as security for your proposal." But it is his government that has allowed for a business environment where a gas company has willingly factored this into their plan, the ability to operate belligerently without a social licence against the overwhelming opposition from the community. My upper house colleague Jeremy Buckingham delivered the chance for this government to get themselves out of this mess through returning the public interest test, but it was defeated by National Party members who say one thing to the people of my electorate in the Northern Rivers and turn their back on them when they get back to Sydney. Where is the courage? One of the tireless campaigners for a gas-filled-free Northern Rivers, Aidan Ricketts, says it is clear that Metgasco is throwing a tantrum, pulling out of negotiations and trying to force the government's hand. The company, in a last-ditch bid to save their failed business model, in a community that is awakened to the horrors this industry poses, is now holding the government over a barrel on this issue. We implore the government to show courage and refuse to let a tantrum-throwing mining company dictate good governance and millions of taxpayer dollars and act quickly to legislate to protect my community. I quote a protest placard held by a knitting nana outside the member for Lismore's office 1 week ago today. "The spring is sprung, the grass is riz. I ask when the cancellation is." I would like to see common sense prevail here and for the government to cancel these coal seam gas licences as promised and to reintroduce legislation that will ensure that no community ever has to face the battle forged at Bentley again. The nanas will continue knitting in their yellow and black yarn. The Bentley protectors will continue watching and waiting, ready to call to action the social movement to protect Bentley at any moment. And I pledge today here in this Parliament, should this government fail us yet again, to return home and stand with the community at the blockade again.